300 inmates quarantined in the drug resistance ward, much less all the cases just outside prison walls. When a prisoner's term is up, he's released into the heart of Tomsk. Population 500,000. Healthy or sick, he's now free to walk these streets and ride these buses with unsuspecting citizens.
Like any medical student, I knew about the disease. I knew its symptoms, but I had no idea it could be like this.
Anna Kolosova doesn't know how she became infected with a strain of TB resistant to 5 drugs.
I found out completely by accident. I went to take my driving test and I had to have a medical exam. They took an X-ray and they told me I had tuberculosis.
6 months later, she began coughing up blood. On leave from medical school, she has been hospitalized ever since.
If we had second-line drugs, Anna's prognosis might be positive. Without them, her prognosis is not positive in the least. Anna's case is not unique. In my care, I have another college student and other young patients with drug-resistant TB.
Their symptoms can be eased. Their active disease may subside for a time. But the drugs that could save their lives are not yet within reach. For now, just 30 inmates will receive second-line drugs. All have at least 2 more years to serve, a guarantee they'll complete their treatment and prevent the evolution of new drug-resistant bacteria. Still, there's grumbling.
People were asking why you are spending $5,000 to $8,000 to cure or treat a convicted killer. So we have to explain and explain and explain that we chose prison for epidemiological reasons. This is the hub when this problem can be addressed.
A gesture of good faith, Goldfarb has removed his mask to address 30 men who are getting a second chance at life. He tells them, the treatment we're offering you is no experiment. It has never been used in Russia because it's too expensive. It's a complicated and painful process. For some of you, it will last a year and a half. But all of you must take this as seriously as possible and complete the entire course of your treatment. Sasha was a victim of evolution, but now the odds are good he'll live out his sentence.
I've got 2.5 years left to serve. I'm not afraid of the side effects. I just want to get better. That's all.
But in a facility for TB patients on the edge of town, others remain prisoners of the disease.
The new drugs are the only hope we have. There's nothing else to wait for. It's the only thing I'm waiting for. My family is very supportive. They visit every other day. My mother and father, my grandparents. I'm only 19. I have to be optimistic.
Siberia once seemed the most remote spot on Earth. Not anymore. Planes, trains, and highways now crisscross Russia. Strains of drug-resistant TB have spread to thousands of citizens, and some are leaving the country.
What's dramatically affected the spread of TB is our ability to travel. All the strains that are in the Russian prisons among prisoners will eventually come to our doorstep.
The global spread of TB is monitored in New York City at the Public Health Research Institute. On the rise nearly everywhere, TB now rivals AIDS. It claims 2 to 3 million lives a year. TB bacteria collected worldwide help researchers chart the evolution of new strains. DNA extracted from the bacteria can be displayed in a barcode pattern, a genetic fingerprint of the enemy for Barry Kreisworth.
We've been able to look literally at the DNA from the bacteria, and we use this as a detective story. We can go from bacteria to bacteria which infect different people and ask, are these bacteria the same? Are we getting one person who is spreading his or her strain to many others? Based on our fingerprint database, we've actually seen the most prominent strain that is running rampant throughout the Tom's prison already in the U.S.
Hi, Barry. What's up?
Look at this.
Kreisworth shares this grim discovery with Alex Goldfarb.
So this is a fingerprint of that 148 strain that we see all over the Tom's prison. It's that multi-drug resistant strain. Look at this one. Same exact pattern.
Yes.
But this isn't from the prison. This is from a New York patient we received from the Department of Health in New York City.
Uh-huh.
It's identical.
Is he a Russian?
Well, this is a Russian who has MDR-TB. So I think it's a nice find, but it's a scary one, too.
How long before another traveler carries drug-resistant TB to New York or any other city? How long before others are infected? If an epidemic erupted, most cities would be caught unprepared. Not enough personnel trained to diagnose and treat TB. No stockpiles of second-line drugs. And TB is just the tip of the iceberg. The microbes that cause malaria, pneumonia, gonorrhea, and scores of other infectious diseases are also evolving drug resistance. Misuse of antibiotics is one cause. Overuse is another. In the United States, nearly half of all prescriptions are unnecessary or inappropriate.
We've created this problem. Multi-drug resistance is a man-made problem. And we do that by putting antibiotics in animal feeds. We have antibiotics running rampantly through hospitals. We have antibiotics in the environment. By developing as many antibiotics that we have over the last 50 years, we've essentially accelerated an evolutionary process. The outcome is that we're going to have more drug-resistant microbes to the point where some of the most dangerous bacteria will not be treatable. We're racing against the microbe every day, and unfortunately, we're losing.
It's an arms race without end. The more drugs we launch at microbes, the more resistance they evolve. Maybe it's time to change our strategy. If we can